How's it? My name's Trevor Cramer. Let's take a quick look at what's coming your way this weekend in the sporting world. Well, the Super Rugby season is heading for the business end, and there's some interesting little matchups this weekend in what effectively could be a must-win for many of the teams who are clambering for playoff positions in the Super Rugby chase this year. The Lions saw their playoff aspirations taking a slight little backward step last week when they went down to the Brumbies at Ellis Park. But of course, with the Bulls having fallen the day earlier, that kept the Lions in the picture. The Lions go to Bloemfontein this weekend where they meet the Cheetahs. It's going to be a tough fixture, a lot of emotion involved possibly for the Cheetahs because Naka Drotske, of course, saying his goodbyes to the Cheetahs franchise. It'll be his last game in charge of the Cheetahs there, so there could be some emotion to whip up the Cheetahs. But I fancy the Lions to come away with the points there from Bloemfontein this weekend. Stormers fans will be certainly hoping that their side actually goes to the top of the South African Conference once again or seizes outright leadership, albeit marginally. The Stormers, they're at home to the tricky Rebels at Newlands this weekend, but I fancy home ground advantage and the Rebels' poor travelling record might just tilt it the way of the Stormers. And for the non-South African fans, or even the neutrals for that matter, an appetising little clash in Sydney this Saturday. That's when the Waratahs host the Crusaders. Both sides still in playoff contention, but a lot to do from both of them. The Waratahs, remember, of course, this is their last home game. They hit the road next week to South Africa. So in round ball action this weekend, the English Premiership comes to a close. The top four has already been settled and the Champions League places are decided, but there's still a little mini battle looming there between Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool and Southampton for those minor placings and a spot in the Europa League. It's also a decisive weekend for Hull City and Newcastle United. Any of those two clubs can still go down at the end of the season to the Championship. And the Formula One circus, that hits Monaco this weekend. One of my all-time personal favourite Grand Prix around the street circuit in Monaco, the rich man's playground. And the burning question rears its head once again, as it has been for much of the season. Who's going to stop Lewis Hamilton or Nico Rosberg and the Mercedes charge to the Constructors' title, as well as Hamilton and Rosberg's little personal battle for Mercedes honours and World Championship honours this season? And the big question at Roland Garros this season, can the one-time king of clay, Rafa Nadal, recapture his glory as the king of clay? He's had a pretty poor European season and he hasn't won a clay court title this season, so let's see if he can bounce back at Roland Garros this season. But my money certainly on the top suspects, Novak Djokovic, and in the women's draw, Serena Williams. And if you want to have a flutter or you've got some loose money lying around, well, if you're a betting person, then I tell you, two dark horses to really look forward to this year. David Ferrer in the men's draw and Carla Suarez Navarro, the little Spanish lady, in the women's draw. I'm Trevor Cramer. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Jackasport or check us out on the website. You'll find us at jacarandafm.com. Click on sport. Have yourself a great sporting weekend in the company of Jacaranda.